Today I want to go over basic stances with blocks and how we actually join them both together. So if you're ready, let's get started. The walk-in stance, Seogi, with the high block, Olgul Makki. Just before we begin, if you want to recap on how to do the actual stance or the block itself, I've put a link in the description below on the actual videos on how to do this. The first thing we need to do is actually take a look at the stance and the block separately. So let's do that first. The walking stance. So let's do a quick recap for the actual stance itself. So the stance is 1 foot distance out. At the same time, the body is straight and the chest is facing 30 degrees out at an angle. And when we finish, the back foot on the ball of the foot is turned to a 45-degree angle. And when we're walking, the inside of the actual feet themselves is on a straight line. And it's only when you finish the move that you turn the back foot. And that is the walking stance. The high block. Now, when we're doing the high block, what we're doing, we are blocking on the center line. So where the wrist is, we're blocking on our center line straight down. We're blocking from the wrist down 2 inches. Also at the same time, we are 1 fist distance out from our forehead to where the block is, and we're blocking at an angle. And our opposite hand is back on the hip. And that is the high block. The walking stance and the high block. The walking stance is a stance which is used for more close quarter contact because it's a short stance, you're just utilizing that one step. So if someone is attacking you close, you're using the walking stance. Now with the actual block itself, is if someone's attacking you from the shoulders up to the top of your head, this area here, this is when you use the high block. So if someone is trying to punch you, or they've got a weapon, whether it's a knife or whether it's a rod or a stick, and they're trying to maybe come down on you or hit you, as I said, or punch you within this area, you're using the high block to stop and deflect that object away. So basically, the walking stance and the high block is used for a close quarter attack within this high section here from the shoulders up to the top of the head. And you're utilizing the block to deflect and stop and put that attack away. We now have the stance, and we also now know the actual block itself. So what we now need to do, we actually now need to join them together. The best way to do this is when we're first learning to join the moves together in a continuous movement. It's always best to learn it to start with as a one-step move first. And then once you've learned it as a one-step move, you can then progress and go on to the continuous movement after that. Now, what is a one-step move? Well, a one-step move is when you start in the chumbi position and you then step with the left leg first, and we're doing the stance with the block at the same time. And then from there we come back to the chumbi position, and then we do the opposite side. And then we come back to the chumbi position. And you continually just repeat left, right, left, right, left, right, until you're comfortable with the actual stance and the block at the same time. From there then, once you've done that, then you can progress to the continuous one, where you're just then continually walking forwards. So that is the actual one step. So let's start by learning the walking stance with the high block. The one step with the walking stance and the high block. To start with, we need to start in the chumbi position. I'm then going to move forward with my left leg first. I'm just stepping out, 1 foot step out forward. At the same time I'm doing that, I'm blocking with my left hand. And then from there I come back into the chumbi position. This time I'm going to use my right leg. I'm going to step forward with my right leg. At the same time I'm blocking with the high block. And I come back to the chumbi position and we do the left leg. And all we're doing is getting used to the actual movement of the step and the block at the same time. And once you've got used to that actual movement, the next part is where we add in the kia for the strength and the power. And when you are practicing, it is very important for you to get into the habit of using the kia at the same time when you're practicing with the stances. Because if you ever unfortunately get into a real life situation where you have to use that block, if you've been practicing it with the kia, then the strength and the power will then come and help you to stop that actual attack if it happened in real life. So now we go into the continuous movement. We start in the chumbi position and we always move the left leg first. Now you do the move, you do the stance and then the block at the same time, then pause for a moment and check to make sure that the stance is correct. Is my back foot facing 45-degree angle? Is the weight ratio on my legs the same? Is my chest 30-degree angle out? Am I looking forward? With the actual block, is my hand back on the hip? Is my wrist in the center line of my body? Am I blocking from the wrist down 2 inches? Is my arm angled down? Is my hand 1 fist width out from my forehead? So you want to check all the basics of the technique. And then once that's done, then you move on again to the next part. And then again, you go to the stance and the block again. And same again, you pause for a moment, check everything, and then move on. And all you want to do is continually keep walking up and down so that you get used to the actual technique of joining together the stance and the actual block. Now, once you've done that, it is very important then to then add in the kia, because it's the kia which helps come and give you that strength and the power to finish that block properly. Now, once you've got to the end of the mat, or if you're practicing at home, maybe in your room, what you then need to do, you need to turn around and go back the other way. So how do you do that? Well, I've made a video on how you learn and practice it, and I've put a link in the description below so you can go and check it out. And that is the walking stance with the high block. Now, below in this bottom left hand corner, or maybe somewhere in the top, is the next video on stances and blocks. So you can go and learn and keep practicing them for yourself. As always, until the next time, Gam Sa Hae Ni.